In America, we were told that everybody had a fair shot. According to the Constitution, we all were given the opportunity to pursue happiness. However you want to deem that term relevant to you or not, like, we were told that if we put in the work, we were told that if we stay loyal and committed, we were told that if we obey, follow the path that's outlined to us, pay our taxes, get education, obey the laws. You know, just think about everything you're told or you're not told, like you're indirectly learning as you live in the States. Think about all of it, guys. And then think about not what you're going through, but think about what your parents is going through, your relatives is going through, your friends is going through, the teachers you have or had, coaches you had or have, pastors you had or have. Think about what your local government is putting you through. Think about what your local government is discussing. Think about the entertainment that's affecting your environment. Think about the food that's affecting your environment. Think about how hard it is to maintain a decent quality of life, although you're busting your ass for it and making sacrifices, not just every day, but almost every hour. The sacrifice of time. If this is your first time seeing Black, please hit a sub, leave a like, drop a comment. I'm very moved on the topic of time and how it's supposed to relate to us. You know, like I'm always thinking about, man, why aren't we doing more or seeking more to preserve our life, to extend the longevity of our life, to go against the statistics of mortality, to go against the statistics of education, of health, wellness, relationships, finances, to go against everything that we've been taught. It's a rewiring, is what I'm seeing. And as I'm thinking about these questions, which most of the time are rhetorical, because I do know an answer, it's like, well, if I can't change what the answer is, if I can't change the system, if I can understand that there's a system in play that doesn't represent 99% of the population of America, there's a system in play that doesn't represent 100% of the minorities in America, there's a system in play that targets people who look like me, people who talk like me. In both situations, right? From a ghetto perspective, or a person who has knowledge or some sort of growing understanding to see the writing on the wall. On both sides, there's a target for people who look and sound like me, right? So I'm like, if I can't change that, if I can't gather people around to overthrow and produce an anarchy, which shouldn't be hard because we're all going through bullshit that a lot of time isn't our fault. Probably most of the time. If I can't do that, if there's people in your corner who can't do that, who are feeling the way I'm feeling, and you're in their corner and you can't support them, right? That group of people who are just desensitized and docile and just understand that this is their only option because they think that and they just want to move along. If you can't join people who are tired of being oppressed, who are understanding wage labor or wage slavery, who is understanding modern day slavery, who is understanding the quiet reigns or the silent wanes, the silhouette of the whips that we have in this kind of industrial, modernized world, right, then we can't win. But we can't win essentially by overthrowing something that takes numbers. We don't have numbers behind us. We don't have the psyche. We don't have the will or the heart. So sometimes, like in poker, and like in any game you play, right? Where your options is to keep treading lightly, moving forward, or bow out. Kind of that sense of fight or flight that we naturally have. Well, I myself, amongst others, the small group of others, decided to take our free will and the small opportunities we have to choose flight over fight. We already live in this game, in this world, in this matrix, where 90% of things are negative, like, until we kind of change the board game a little bit as we get older, right? Make sacrifices, find out loopholes, etc., etc. But you can't win every fight. You can't change most things. But you could decide how you want to play it. Like it's like story mode, Decide how you want to play. So basically, what I'm saying is, because I know y'all like, get to the point. What I'm saying is, I chose to live. I chose to live. I chose to live. That's it. Because I know I can't win the fight. I know I can't win that fight. I don't have numbers. We don't have numbers. We vote for a non-represented government for some reason, and then we turn around and be like, man, why did I do that? It's like we just have a systematic control, a battery that's been placed to us while we were asleep, born, and we're just on go for a society and an environment that is killing us day to day. There's instances where people are getting shot right in the back, literally, physically, right? Pawns. We're just getting taken out like that. And it'd be some of the most innocent people, be some of the most people who have a lot of life to go. That's one of the most extreme cases. Then the other cases is, let's kill them by economics. Let's kill people with health, right? Let's do the slow burn, right? We put drugs in the community. Right? We take away certain books or the opportunity to grab certain books in the community. Gosh, we can't create our own jobs because our hands keep getting slapped. We've already started at a deficit since slavery, since apartheid. We already, segregation, all that crap, right? Holding on to a job, making fair wages, that's hard. We got to rely on Section 8, different program benefits that promotes the dependency, the physical dependency of a human to another human, which further breaks down our mindset to get away from it. Literally, 99.9% of things are an attack on us. That's the slow burn I talk about. And I add this caveat. For you guys and women who are making above average income, right? You may be touching 80, 90, 100K, right? Not in a household, right? You work, you make that on your own. If you pair it with a compatible partner, right? You guys are touching $200,000 to $300,000 a year. You may have 1 or 2 children. You may have the fence. You may have the house. You may have the 2 or 3 cars. You may have it paid off. Shit, you guys may have $1 million in your investments. So that group, what does that group look like? Is that group gonna run into problems? Of course they are. Because again, you're in an environment, in a society where you have to fight, where there's constant sacrifice, where there's constant learning, which anywhere you live, anywhere you go, you should learn, right? Where there's constant battles, where there's constant oppression to your health, to your wellness. It's all of that. It don't even matter. You guys get what I'm saying? None of it matters. So I don't know if people think in those type of straits, right? Those type of absolutes, I guess. Yeah. But seriously, I bet 9 times out of 10, maybe 9.5 times out of 10, I had 10 people in front of me in every city, zip code, county, state, in the United States of America. If I have 9 out of 10 people in front of me who are adults, right? They have some sort of responsibility or influence in their household and or community, right? They can promote some sort of change even in their household, right? Or take on some sort of liability, i.e. young adult and up, right? 9 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 people in every place. Basically what I'm saying is 90% of the states are suffering or not living the correct quality of life that they should due to the amount of work that they're putting in. Think about that, seriously. And think of scale. Think of everybody you know. I said that earlier. Think about everybody you know. Just think about it. I know people are going to say they love their job. I know people are going to say they're going to be passionate about giving back to the community. I know all that. I get all that. I know people say they love their kids. They do everything for their kids. I get what people say. But look at what they do and look at body language. Look at how they feel. We're not going to always talk about what happens or what we do or what we think at the end of the day when everything's quiet and settled, when we're trying to prepare mentally the next day. It's a mental and almost spiritual grind to keep living in a community and a society where the ultimate goal is superiority, for the 1%. That's it. There's not even no middle area no more. The middle class shit, it's about gone. It's about disappearing. People are fighting still. Middle class is just kind of a label. That's just not even really existing anymore. But it's going to be basically evaporated very soon. So think about that, guys. I don't want to make this too much longer, but think about it. I chose to live, I'm I want people to start being real with themselves, because I talk about this with my wife. I'm like, are we real with ourselves? I like to ask hard questions, even towards me. Am I happy? We have icebreakers at work. We go out, we go to a club, a birthday party if it's more family related. We do events, we host gatherings, we go to concerts. We do all this stuff, that creates some sort of inertia, some sort of energy with being around people and feeling vibes and making sure we're on the go. But isn't it escape from our reality? You guys get what I'm saying? Can we slow down and actually think and be like, man, I'm actually good with my life. Even if you're not where you want to be, as long as you have a plan, at least a goal, 5-step goal, 2, 3, 4, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. Are you good with your future? And obviously, and are you good with your, being in the moment with your life right now? Are you good with it? It's the real question you got to ask. Are you good with life? Are you good with living right now? I'm not talking about freak final destination type things that is totally out of control. That's just going to be some of the things as part of the system where it just takes us out. Things we can't really control. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about, are we good with our life due to the choices we make and don't make? That's it. Are we good with it? I started asking myself that a lot over the last year or two. Am I good? And if I'm not, how can I change it? And it's that simple. How can I change it? Well, if I'm not good and I know what to change, I'm gonna change it. And it's just that simple, right? I don't care what my mom and dad are saying. I don't care what my brothers, sisters are saying. I don't care what my cousins are saying. I don't care what my friends down the block are saying. I don't care what social media is saying. I don't care what my president is saying, you know, my job, my boss, HR. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, am I good with my life? And I believe when we start asking these questions and then we start kind of maneuvering because we're actually tired, for real. We're not just talking about it or telling people or venting. We're actually tired of it, right? Then we start getting control back. We do. You start feeling empowered. And it's crazy because then you start getting people who are in your peer group, in your demographic, who makes around the same money of you, if not more, if not more, right? Who you think is popular, who you think is influential. You start getting people coming back to you in person through text, video, and they're like, damn, how are you doing this? Damn, it seems like you're just riding by the own seat of your pants. It's like you're just in control. Like, it's weird how this life goes because these are the people who would say they're good with their life. They're happy. They're content. I'm getting married. I'm buying a house. I'm having these kids. I voted for my government. I tithed and I put back into my church. Yet they're truly, really broken and it's all a facade. So these people are going to come to you when you're doing basic shit. But you seem, at least it looks like you have more control in your life than they do, even though they're claiming they're happy. Real shit. Real shit. I know a lot of people aren't going to see this. This is why I keep talking about this stuff, right? In different ways. The goal is just to talk about this in different ways. Right? I know, why would this be pushed for people to really start just understanding life or understand what they want? It is a stronghold. There is a extraterrestrial force that's linked with physical people that represent and influence the world that is influencing our decisions. So we don't really know what we want. You guys get what I'm saying? We don't. So we're in and out of relationships because we're coming together and we don't really know what we want, you know? We're in and out of jobs or career paths because we're coming to situations where we don't really know what we want, you know? Like we spend a lot of money on different things, especially depreciating things because we don't really know what we want. We're trying to find ourselves in different groups and different religions, you know, denominations, sects, because we're trying to find ourselves because we don't really know what we want. Like we feel like we have to be attached to something. We feel like we have to be listening to a physical influence to understand our path. And it's some shit that's within. True happiness is within, and it's crazy. I've heard this for a while, and it sounds cliche, but I get it. I get it. I get it. There's just shit that I don't even care about. It's crazy. I don't care about a lot of shit. Most shit, I don't. Sports, people, places, things, buying stuff, governments. I should be aware of stuff, but I'm not going to let it affect my decisions and movements, influence me. I should be aware. Awareness and influence is two different things, you know? But I'll wrap it up here. To keep it simple, right? Living, time, owning my own time. That's it. Just moving in the direction of financial freedom, being flexible with my time, having options, being active, and having my wellness in check, mentally and physically, and then feel some sort of safeness or safety and security, which promotes peace. I mean, that's it. I chop it up. I chop my life up from now on to them 4 kind of categories, and that's it. And if there's things that come to me that don't align with that, it's done. Moved away, it's blocked. Life, my life, quality of life. I would go about my way and say, for a decent quality of life, everybody should be doing that. But we're all different. We all got different walks to tread. So anyway, if I said anything that made some damn sense, let me know in the comments. Sub for support or don't sub. You know, I know maybe some people have unsubbed because I talk weird, I talk different. Again, don't, whatever. I can't make y'all do anything. Because I think people be trying to prove prove themselves to others. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, when you go to bed or when you wake up, are you happy? That's it.